Hello and welcome to the Tanya Augusta community. I am Tanya Augusta, your alchemy coach. I'm here today for part 3 of the 7 spiritual ninja skills. If you have not already, please go and listen to part 1 and part 2. You will see that each of these 7 spiritual ninja skills do build upon one another. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about spiritual ninja skill number 6, which is recognizing that we are all one. What happens when we go into a place of fear, into a place of trauma, is that we feel disconnected. And that is actually the root of the pain that we experience, is that we feel alone and we don't feel supported. This may sound like something that you already know, but most of the time we don't recognize that this is even happening. For example, I, for many years, was in business and felt like I was always having to put in a lot of effort, and everything that I did was effortful and not easeful. This really started to wear on me, and what happened was I began having a pattern of trauma that would come up where I felt very disconnected, I felt unsupported, and at the root of it was this lie that is the root of trauma and is the root of this disconnection. The root of fear is that we are, that lie is that we are not, um, that we are separate. So, what is important is that we recognize that we are one and we work through those feelings. Now, it's very common when we have that pain and frustration and whatever that disconnect, that trauma trigger is for you, we will go into usually victimhood or being the persecutor, somewhere on the drama triangle, which is either going into victim, persecutor, or the rescuer. And this is very normal. The ego wants to make a story. Our mind likes to talk and it likes to cling on to old beliefs and all kinds of old traumas and other things, and they can build upon each other. And it can very much feel at the time like we don't have the support that we need, and we can feel disconnected. But we want to work through our feelings, do the work with our coach, with our therapist, with ourselves to really heal that inner child, because that is the root of healing that feeling of disconnection, so that we can recognize that we are one. Because once we realize that we are all one, we can find happiness in other people's happiness. We feel the sadness when other people have sadness. And yes, we may feel that anyway, but when we are in that space of trauma, right, we can't usually be in a space of empathy and for others until we work through that. And so this is a place that can help us cultivate more compassion for ourselves and for others, and again, to help us going forward so that we don't continue this cycle of lies that we are disconnected. And the 7th of the 7 spiritual ninja skills is to use your tools. I'm going to be teaching you 3 new tools today. Go back to parts 1 and 2 for some of the other tools, as well as how to enhance light energy and diminish dark energy for another tool. And in all of those 3 videos, I will have at the end of this video for you as well, for you to click on. But these I talk about how you can call in your spiritual team to assist you. I talk about fraying our energy cord with somebody else so that we are not having that energetic drain. I talk about my protection and grounding meditation. And again, click on that link below for that, as well as I talk about smudging. And so you can use all of these tools for you. And the ones that I'm going to be teaching you today is, the first one is called Power Pose. Some of you may have heard of this as the Superman or Superwoman pose. This is something that a lot of these techniques we don't necessarily do in front of other people. It's kind of the behind the scenes work that we are doing to help ourselves and our energy and to stay in our power, right? So with this one, I want you to put your hands up like this. You're pressing your chest outwards. You are standing with your feet apart. So when you are in this space, you are able to feel and sense that you are in your power. You are holding that conviction of staying in your heart, staying rooted, staying grounded to your truth. And you can hold this pose from anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute or even longer if you wish. I recommend doing the power pose before you go into a discussion, especially if you know it may be a challenging one, before you go into a meeting where you need to speak up and say something. Situations like that can be helpful. And then the next technique that I'm going to be teaching you today is to use your sovereignty statement. So the sovereignty statement is where you declare that you are a sovereign person. Again, this is something that we aren't doing in front of somebody. We're doing it again behind the scenes. And this is kind of one that we may be using more for if we feel like there are some forces outside of us that we do not feel like are that they're imposing their will against ours, imposing a value against our value, whatever that may be. So again, go to that video, how to diminish dark energy and enhance light energy, for more about that. But a sovereignty statement could sound something like, I am a sovereign being. I consent to love, light, and truth, and I only accept love, light, and truth in my life. Or you could have that statement of exactly what it is that you are standing for. I stand for women's rights, whatever that issue or thing that may be that is coming up that is worrying you, upsetting you, that is feeling like it's infringing upon you and your sovereignty. And you can say, I do not consent to, this fear, this fear mongering, this whatever the value clash may be. Again, you're going to want to use those words of what that is that you are not wanting. So I am a sovereign being. I only choose love and light. I do not consent to XYZ. Again, find that language that really resonates for you, and using those other tools, the smudging, calling in your guides, and all of that along with it. And then I want to teach you a last technique that's called the mirror technique. And so in this one, we have a mirror that we are going to see coming up around us. And with this mirror, it's going to be facing the outside around us. So that means that it's reflecting towards anybody else. So this is good because sometimes we do not have energy cords attached to other people. Sometimes there are people that don't know us that could be sending us negative energy. Could be through social media, could be when you're in a group, in a crowd, and you're speaking, or in a group email. There's all kinds of different areas where this could become useful. Again, when we are using this technique, we aren't really necessarily doing it with other people, but there could be somebody around us, and we can be, envisioning this as we are with them, and as we are in the middle of a heated discussion, for example, we can put up that mirror. And so as we put up the mirror, what we are doing is we are allowing their energy to deflect back to them. So it will go back to them, their projections, their negativity, their fear will go back to them. So this is actually a tool that is also not only helping us to maintain our energy and not have to feel any of that negativity or something that does not resonate with our heart and with our truth, but again, it is helpful for that person because as it goes back to them, they can see, oh, there's some shadow work that I need to do, hopefully. And sometimes people aren't ready to grow, but they will feel that energy come back, and it will help them to stop doing that activity. And even if it doesn't stop them, it is still helping protect you. And so you will also want to use that protection meditation that I taught you and I talked about in the last video as well. So go ahead and click on the download below. But I really want people to wake up every morning, create this grid around yourself, this protection grid, where you are helping to not allow other energies to come in. And then there is also a chakra meditation within that, where you can clear out any chakras that are blocked. So for example, if you're having a hard time speaking up, saying something to somebody else, then that would mean that you have a throat chakra issue, and we want to dissolve that blockage. And so you can go into the meditation and work on that. If you're feeling not in your power, you can work on that solar plexus chakra and enhancing and that light and letting go of that and dissolving whatever that blockage may be. I thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing this video with your friends, with your family. I would love to hear which of these tools you've used, which ones are working for you, what is your favorite of the 7 spiritual ninja skills, or any other comments. I always welcome them. I love hearing about how you're using energy and what is benefiting you. So have a wonderful day, and thank you again.